Today on Royally Us, King Charles gives a heartfelt speech to caregivers of cancer patients as the Prince and Princess of Wales celebrate 14 years of marriage in Scotland. Plus, the debate over Meghan and Harry's HRH titles rages on as we have details about Virginia Giuffre's tragic death. And Princess Charlotte is double digits. We take a look inside the life of the princess. We've got that plus so much more in today's Royally Us. Hey everyone, and welcome to Royally Us. I'm Christina alongside our executive editor and our new Royally Us co-host, Justin Ravitz. How are you?
Hello.
Double title now.
Double title.
So excited to have you here each and every week.
His Royal Highness call me HRH.
Call you HRH.
Much controversially.
So excited to have you here each and every week to run down everything Royals.
I'm so excited.
Yes, we've been having so much fun.
Together again.
Together again. So let's continue doing it because we have a lot of news to get to, as always.
Yes.
So during a recent reception at Buckingham Palace for cancer support organizations, King Charles shared a heartfelt message to those who selflessly give care, comfort, and reassurance to their patients. So this was a lovely outing. He said, and he actually spoke from his own experience. He said, "It has certainly given me an even deeper appreciation of the extraordinary work undertaken by the remarkable organizations and individuals gathered here this evening, many of whom I have known, visited, and supported over the years, and it has reinforced what I have long observed during these visits, that the darkest moments of illness can be illuminated by the greatest compassion." I love that.
I do love that. And I've been thinking a lot about Charles lately because, as you know, he's had a rough go at it. He waited a long time to become king. Obviously, he waited a long time because his mother lived a long, wonderful life. But also, I think public sentiment towards him has been kind of reticent up until recent years. There's a lot of reasons for that. He's not necessarily the most charismatic royal to ever exist. People have certain feelings about Diana and the boys, and they feel loyalty one way or the other. And remember when he first was coronated, there was that awkward thing with the pen, and he was sort of impatient.
Yes.
So, and people used to feel a certain way about his relationship with Camilla, but I wouldn't wish cancer on anyone, but I have to say that this health battle has really added some vulnerability to him,
softness,
and relatability, and it's sort of softened him. I mean, we don't want this kind of thing to be the catalyst for someone becoming more sympathetic and human, but having followed him and thought about him for most of my life, I do see kind of a more human side of him, and this vulnerability, it looks good on him because, and it seems really genuine. And I think with royals, some royals, especially with his mom and the older generation, they can be a little stiff.
Yeah.
They don't always have that human touch. And I think with this experience, going through cancer, coming on the other side of it, it's really changed Charles and my perception, and I think the public perception of him as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm sure getting the news like that changes your whole perspective on life, and like you said, it softened him a little bit. It made him a little bit more relatable.
Yeah.
So, and especially giving a shout out to the healthcare professionals, kind of leading the charge. It seems like this has really become something that he's very passionate about and wants to give back in that way, which I love.
Yeah, and his cause has been mostly conservation and agricultural stuff, which is admirable, but not the most sexy thing or the most emotional thing. So this is something again that kind of deepens sort of our perception of him, I would say.
Totally. All right, moving on over to Prince William and Princess Kate. They just hit 14 years of marriage, and they headed to the Isles of Mull and Iona for what royal experts called a quiet reconnection. Just peace and nature and, a little royal duty here and there. They met with local communities to talk about the environment. Like I said, when they're off the grid, they're still on royal duty. And Kate showed off a brand new hairstyle, new color debut, and people were going crazy about this blonde moment.
Blonde? Is this blonde on you?
It might be a little bit, right?
Blonde. Yeah. I think she's taking cues from you.
She might be. She might be tuning into Royally Us every single week and they're like, I want that hair.
I mean, it's perfect for spring. It's perfect for this latest chapter, post-cancer, stepping more fully into royal duties. I mean, we've been obsessed with Kate's hair from day one, right? She has beautiful hair, luscious flowing locks, the Kate effect, everyone wants to look like her, copy her hair, her style. I saw for that outing also she was wearing these fabulous sunglasses. She was apparently wearing a Cartier watch, which is believed to be a 3rd anniversary present from William.
Very nice.
Yeah, have you gotten a cardigan?
I have not.
Okay.
No, my husband better step it up.
Okay, Christina's husband,
Yes.
you're on notice. That, and apparently she's wearing 2 necklaces, including one with adorned with charms of the initials of the kids.
So cute. I love that.
So I love her style.
I do too.
And clearly she really revels in the great outdoors, interacting, and she's wearing, I think, Chloe boots as well. So I love her style. I love her sort of casual style. It's really sort of great to see her in this element.
Yeah, she looked fantastic.
Yeah.
And hopefully they had a nice little relaxation kind of to reconnect. In 14 years, I cannot believe it. It just goes by so fast.
I can't believe it. 3 kids.
Yep.
He's now next in line.
Yeah.
They're stepping into it in a good way. Into it. Yeah.
Right, definitely.
Yeah.
All right, well, switching gears, because this is a really sad story. We've been talking about Virginia Giuffre for a few weeks now, but as we know that she died by suicide this week. So she left a handwritten note believed to be a message to sexual assault survivors prior to her death by suicide. The note was published by the Daily Mail and read, "We are not going to go away. Mothers, fathers, sisters, and brothers need to show the battleness are drawn, and we stand together to fight for the future of victims." This is just a tragic story. Her note concluded, "Is protesting the answer? I don't know, but we've got to start somewhere." So now there's been a lot of questions surrounding her death. Her family believe that this note was actually left behind as a message ahead of the rally set to be hosted in Washington, D.C. That happened this week, and to bring awareness about sexual assault survivors. But her father, Sky Roberts, actually spoke out, doesn't think that she died by suicide. He told Piers Morgan, "Well, first of all, I couldn't even believe it. I mean, I started crying right away. I'm still crying. I can't believe that this is happening. It's impossible." And then for them to say that she committed suicide, there was no way that she did. Somebody got to her. Now, she leaves behind 3 children. You know, she was in that strange bus accident a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
I mean, it's just really sad all around.
It's really sad. It's sad from start to finish. Obviously, we know that she has connections to, well, Prince Andrew, Jeffrey Epstein. So it seems that she was suffering from mental health issues. I don't want to draw conclusions one way or the other, but we've seen lots of sort of conspiracy theories come out of stuff like this. So unclear at the moment where the real story lies, other than it's heartbreaking and tragic, and you know, she went through a lot of crazy stuff.
Oh yeah, I know. And your whole life is being examined by, you know, the media. Everybody has, you know, public perceptions about you and things like that. It had to be incredibly difficult to deal with, and especially everything Jeffrey Epstein, Prince Andrew, you know, that disastrous interview that he had a few years ago. So it had to be a lot, probably, to weigh on your shoulders, I would imagine.
Right, and just to know, no statement forthcoming from Prince Andrew's. He actually, as far as I believe, he does not have a spokesperson, because I reached out to other palace spokespeople, and I don't think anyone ever speaks for him, but I would be curious if he ever spoke out about this.
Something tells me he won't.
No, it's a little tricky.
It is a little tricky.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's switch gears again, spill some royal tea. Let's bring some lightness here. So Meghan Markle actually sat down in an interview on a podcast, the Jamie Kern Lima podcast, and she made it clear that she's still quite enamored with her husband of 7 years, Prince Harry. I don't think that she would say otherwise, but apparently he feels the exact same way about her. She spoke extensively about their marriage and how he slayed the dragons to save the princess, but there was a lot of big takeaways from this interview. She looked fantastic, fresh-faced, looked beautiful, no makeup.
Gorgeous.
I mean, I needed her skincare routine immediately. But what were kind of your biggest takeaways from this interview?
So much. I mean, she called Prince Harry a fox, and specifically talking about slaying the dragon, she was referring to Super Mario Brothers and saving the princess. It was very specific. Yeah. She talked about her morning routines with the kids. That was really interesting, and how she got a little teary-eyed thinking about the kids and making sure they're safe. She kind of spoke to what's the IDGAF, I don't give a whatever, sort of meaning in terms of like letting go. I don't need to prove anything to anyone. It was a very revealing interview. She was also kind of revealing back in the day when she was like a working royal, how she would send messages through her style.
Yeah.
That was also really
Really
fascinating to
interesting.
me. It was a very long and extended interview. I hope she does more of it. Are we getting oversaturated with Meghan at this point?
I think so.
No, it's just
right.
she's has so much going on. She's finally giving us what we wanted, which is like, talk to us, tell us what it's really like.
Yes.
What is your life like today? And we also had her interview with her interview on the other side with Jamie when Jamie was on her podcast, and they apparently have a very long friendship together, and she spoke about kind of her decision to come forth with her brand, because as she was saying initially, she just had this jam and she liked making the jam for her friends, and then sort of trusted friends and colleagues like, go with it, you can brand anything you want. She talked about sort of leaning into that. So it was a great interview.
It was a great interview. I like this new chapter for Meghan. I like that we're getting these little tidbits. I mean, she's showing us her beautiful garden and things like that. So
God, that garden.
Right, that garden.
Yeah, I flagged that story for colleagues to cover.
Yes.
It was,
It's huge.
the backyard of the it was enormous. It was just like, it was, and she had this enormous basket.
That's good.
Someone was like, forget about the giant garden. Like, how do you carry that?
How do you carry that? Not like that, no. Like, it's like the size of this little table here. Like, no. But no, she's very like put together, and you know, I relate to this Meghan a little bit more, because I felt for so long we had like this disconnect between not between us, but between like everybody. I felt like, and now we're like seeing what she's really like as a mom, what it's like behind closed doors, and like this is the Meghan that I kind of wanted to see a little bit more on her show, and hopefully for next season maybe she'll let her guard down a little bit more and give us that relatability.
Well, also, fun fact, we're always talking about Meghan on the editorial team, but more than one colleague recently put together a fruit rainbow for parties
really? I
and for
love
their
that.
kids. I thought you were in that meeting.
Oh my God, no, I missed that one.
Our editor-in-chief, he had a big birthday celebration, and he was telling us that he put together a fruit rainbow.
Oh my God, I'm gonna have to do that. I'm gonna have to try.
And you can make one for your kids too, because she made a giant one on this enormous charcuterie board, but then she made a cute little one that you can do for your kids.
A cute little one.
And the cloud can be like yogurt.
Oh, I love that.
Okay.
My kids would probably like marshmallows, but I like the yogurt, right?
Yeah,
but
exactly.
so cute. I love that.
Totally.
Yeah. All right. Well, since this interview, there have been some backlash. Well, there's always some backlash about these interviews. So she revealed on the podcast that she previously received a gift basket from Meghan that included a personalized message, and it said, "With compliments of HRH, Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex." This is what the card read. So we understand that the gift, which also included, you know, homemade strawberry sauce and ice cream, was sent more than a year ago. So the HRH title is one that Meghan and Prince Harry have retained despite their 2020 departure from the royal family. So a lot of people are saying that they shouldn't be, well, they don't use this for commercial purposes, but a lot of people were kind of taken aback that she's actually using this in her personal life.
Right. Well, we did learn that message was like at least a year old, where she signed that, and I don't think that they generally use it. I think the commercial purposes is the important part.
Yes.
Meaning, like, if you're buying As Ever jam, it's not going to say As Ever jam made by HRH, because then they're profiting off of royal titles that they no longer retain. But people just like get over it. I really, you know, I understand. I understand and I don't. It's like just like get over it.
Right.
I don't think that there's I don't think there's a legal issue here. I don't think they're exploiting anything. I think it's fine.
I think it's fine. I think we're just get worked up over everything.
Yeah. I mean, there's bigger fish to fry.
There are.
Yeah.
Well, let's wrap it up with our pint-sized palace, because in this week's Us Weekly cover story, it's all about Princess Charlotte, and why shouldn't it be? It should always be about Princess Charlotte. She turns 10 on May 2nd, and since her public debut outside St. Mary's Hospital 10 hours after her birth, Charlotte has been charming the masses. The world has seen her transform from toddler to a poised and self-assured tween who loves Taylor Swift, horses, and hanging out with her brothers, we think. We talked to a bunch of royal experts, including Sharon Carpenter, and she told us that Kate and William have watched Charlotte grow into a smart, confident, and funny girl who knows how to hold her own, both in the spotlight and outside of it. Expert Marlene Koenig also told us that Charlotte will begin carrying out some official engagements when she turns 18, which is usually the age when kids begin to do that. As she gets through her teens, there will be talk of her being an asset and the secret weapon to the royal family. I kind of feel like she is the secret weapon to the royal family. Like, she keeps those boys in check when they're out, like, public appearances and things like that. She's definitely a crucial member of the royal family. And I know that William and Kate have made it a mission in their parenthood to make it not like this heir and spare type of relationship between she and George.
Right. Obviously, William is sensitive to that with his brother, and apparently Charlotte like rules the roost.
Yes.
Like she's sort of bossy boots with her brothers, which I kind of love. But she's very active. She loves gymnastics and sports. She's always doing cartwheels around home. She loves cooking with her grandmother, Carol Middleton. So she sounds very dynamic and kind of has a wicked sense of humor, just like her dad. I'm excited to see her grow up, obviously from a distance, but it'll be interesting to see how she matures and what she'll be like as an adult when she turns 18 and like what her deal is.
10 years, God, time flies.
I know.
Right?
Crazy.
Good, right. All right, well, that is it for this week's episode of Royally Us. Justin, thank you so much as always.
Thanks, Christina.
And everybody keep commenting, keep subscribing, and we'll see you next week.